What is up, CKL? Welcome back to the best finals week ever. I'm Bob, and I'm here with my fellow Ninja Hideaway enthusiast, Wisp. How are you doing today?
I am doing great, fellow Ninja Hideaway enthusiast Bob. We are here with Division 5 Finals, University of Idaho versus Roadrunner Racers, also known as University of Texas San Antonio. We got some solid players on both teams. I actually got to cast a match in semifinals of Roadrunner Racers versus University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So now I get to cast them again in finals against Idaho. So I'm really excited to see how they do in this match.
Yeah, I think it'll be a very interesting finals. D5 semifinals between the Roadrunner Racers and University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee Panthers was a very entertaining best of two. I think the Roadrunner gamers did make the correct adjustments going into Game 2. I think this is going to be a very, very close set, and I'm more than excited to cast it with you.
Yeah, so right here, we'll go ahead and check out the players that we will be seeing on these matches because we got some pretty solid people on both teams. So starting off with University of Idaho here, we have always AFK, we have Hood, and we have Dirter, which I guess something special about these three players. They have all played in the NRC FFA tournament, but they also are the players on the team that I'm aware of that have lounge experience. So we have always AFK, that is an Iron 2, and Hood and Dirter in Iron 1. So we got, some little experience outside of CKL on the team. We have Lightning, who's new to CKL and hasn't really played in much else. And we have Dr. Shasta, and I'm not too sure how to pronounce this last name, but IX Zeltia? Excelsia. Okay. Which these bottom two players on the list here have both participated in the NRC FFA. So yeah, we've seen a lot of experience on this team outside of just the typical collegiate 6v6 league. Now over here on Roadrunners Racing, we have Muffin and we have Unlucky, which these two players both have played on the original Season 1 Texas Unified team, which that was during the whole Super Team era, if anyone remembers that. We have Majinaki, who is new to the whole CKL 6v6 team. We have Slap the Rat, who actually played in Summer Switch Up, as well as the MK Wall Pacific League team. We have Minnick and Firelion, who are both new to the Collegiate 6v6 League. So, yeah, we got some solid people on both teams. And, yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm also very interested to see how this matchup lines up. In the regular season, these two teams played twice. Idaho did end up winning both matches by 40 points and won by a little more than 80 points. However, if you look at the point differential for these two teams among the rest of their division, the UI Vandals at a 9-1 record finished with a 746 points above 0, which means they outscored their opponents across the whole season by 746 points. The Roadrunner Racers finished with a point differential of 812, as well as the top two Roadrunner players of Muffin Man and Majinaki are numbers 3 and 4 for the D5 Indiv charts. Idaho and Roadrunner Gaming both have 5 of the top 20 Indivs. Idaho having Hood Live at 5, averaging 101, AFK in 7, averaging 100, Dare in 11, averaging 92, Excelsia and Zephorius, in 13 and 14, averaging 89 and 88. Whereas Roadrunner Gamers, you have Muffin Man, who averages 111, Majinaki, the heavy me bitty main from the semi streams, averaging 105. You have Unlucky Pro, averaging 91. You have Firelion, averaging 85. And I do not believe this player is playing, but it is Pichondo, averaging 83. Both these players have a lot more depth than it seems like they have on the surface. And I know I've said this before, and I'm sounding like a broken record, but I'm very intrigued to see how this one will play out. It's going to come down to, can the Roadrunner mid-pack keep up with the Idaho mid-pack? Because I do think that the Roadrunner top 2 can break away. They just need the support to help them.
Yes, because you cannot rely on only having top spots to just kind of like, carry the rest of the team. So, I mean, I think the slight advantage that UI has over Roadrunner Racing is that they have players that have experience playing Lounge. So they have people who know what, I guess, more aggressive mid packs are like. So, I mean, I think that gives them a slight edge. But, I mean, again, if Roadrunner Racing has just put a lot of effort into really working on 6v6, they could navigate a more, like, I guess, strategized mid pack, because this is 6v6 and not FFA 2v2 like Lounge. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly could see this set going 3 games. I I also wouldn't be surprised if either team took this in 2 games. Just they're 2 very evenly matched teams, and I'm just looking forward to some great card.
Real. But it looks like currently we are going to the track selection here. It looks like we are on Idaho's POV here, and it looks like they are going to Neo Bowser City. And it looks like we have Roadrunner Racers going to Twisted Mansion.
Yeah, Idaho
So I think
was being the favorite or the top seed of D5. Idaho did get host privilege for game 1, so they took full advantage of it, and they have their top 6 going. And on Neo Bowser City, if you can hold those top spots past the first 2 sets, it is a very powerful runner.
yes, this track is a little more difficult than you would expect. There's a lot more that goes into this track than what meets the eye. So it's like we can see some crazy stuff here. Very strong runner. So we'll see what happens here. We're at AFK's POV. So we'll see. Oh, and we're starting off with a burnout here. So
Yeah,
now
hate to see
AFK, I
it.
guess, yeah. But again, these first few turns around here, you can see some pretty tragic items as we switch over to Majinaki's POV. And getting this draft here. Oh, and just barely clipping the red. That might have been from his teammate, but I'm not too sure. But that
Yeah, it
throws
looked
him in
like
last.
it was.
Yeah, so now we're on AFK's POV here. We see him. He is currently in 6th place with 2 shrooms. We'll see how he uses these. Probably going to save them for the shortcut here up at the end. But it looks like Roadrunner Gaming, or Roadrunner Racers, has a lot of top spots here at the start. So right now, this is just a how can we break into the top spots moment for Idaho.
Absolutely. This shroom will certainly help AFK, but he has to choose the right time to do so, seeing as Muffin Man is trailing a red shell in 2nd place. If AFK tries to take the wrong opportunity to pass him, he's going to get redded out, and all progress is just going to be lost.
Yeah, and also, ooh, he's going to be aggressive with the triple nanas here. Going to try and maybe kill him out with the red, and it looks like he does. But now he is right behind first here, and we'll see. I think that might be RG in the back, so potential shock here. I'm not too sure, but, or not shock, blue. So, yeah, got to be careful. The enemy could be holding blue, but again, not too sure. But it looks like we're switching over to Majinaki's POV, just barely dodging the nanas as he pulls out the triple greens in 5th here. And he can choose to be pretty aggressive here. Just starting to light up the Idaho players in front of him. Getting the double box here, but again, this blooper here can be kind of tragic as he's going into this slippery S turn. But can he take out Hood here in front of him?
He's got the better line.
I think he's able to take. Ooh, the tighter line is able to clip him with the triple greens. And I think this is currently a top 2 right now for Roadrunner Racers.
The Idaho player might have gotten bumped off the track, so this is going to be a top 2.
Top 2.
That looks like more than top 2, because I think the Luigi was on Roadrunner.
Yeah, we see always AFK. I think this is quite a few bottom spots for Idaho here.
That is a really strong start if you are Roadrunner Gaming. Absolute statement. It doesn't matter that UA got their track with top 6. Being able to start on that high of a note is such a confidence booster, especially since coming into this match, everyone's probably looking at your team as the underdog, seeing you haven't beat this team yet this season.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see Roadrunner Gaming go for potentially some strong runner, but again, if I recall from like the freaking match against Milwaukee, they don't pick typical runners. So, I mean, I'm pretty interested to see what they are going to pick here, but it does look like they are going to Hyrule, which, again, pretty strong track pick for them if they're able to outrun it. But also, Hyrule is not too bad for people in the back spots because it does have quite a bit of catch-up potential, and we have UI going with Athens Dash. So, but
It'll
it looks
be
like we are
interesting
going to
knowing.
Hyrule.
Yeah, it'll be interesting knowing that we are going to Hyrule to see how some of these bottom spots utilize these shrooms that they're going to pull in the first two sets. Because, yes, the signature shortcut of Hyrule Circuit is that NISC, or no item shortcut, at the end of the lap where you can cut off a chunk of the road. However, there's no guarantee that all these players down here have the experience to be able to take that cut consistently. So mushrooms are going to be very powerful.
Yes, so we'll see what happens here, and it looks like we have a lot of, early front presence here with Roadrunner Racing or Runner Racers. I am messing that up, but it looks like we have Majinaki just chilling in second here with the red, protecting Minute here, but it looks like they have it looks like they're holding on to that top four there, but yeah, it looks like we see a lot of UI players just sitting in the back, which again is bad for Hyrule. I mean, it does have the catch-up potential, so it's just, are they going to be able to catch up on this track? So it looks like we're on Always AFK's POV, and he is going to cut up here through the shortcut, and just barely clipping the plant here. That is one of like the hardest parts about the shortcut that can kind of kill you. If you just barely clip that, if you barely clip the plant thing, it's like you're kind of screwed. And we have AFK breaking into the top spots here. He has a Shroom in second, but yeah, as soon as he passes Majinaki, Majin could just easily red him out if he felt like it. But it's like, yeah, just like, looks like AFK is just going to hold on to second here. It's the play to make, and we have a lot of UI still in the back. So, again, potential for some pretty good power items for them. But yeah, we have Always AFK just barely squeezing up around here, choosing to go for the item set here, barely missing the double. He is holding onto the red in second place, choosing to red up. And now I think Majin has absolutely no defense, so we'll see what AFK can do to break into the top spots.
Yeah. Oh, the smart bounce!
Oh my gosh.
I wonder if that was his teammate Muffin Man's green shell, but that's tough. You had 1-3, and now it looks like Idaho might be able to take one here. It does depend on how this last set plays out. Not pulling a red definitely hurts, but...
Yeah, so it's just... Oh my gosh, and barely messing up some of the strats, having to burn his Shroom early. Again, he's got to watch out for the triple green, choosing to go wide here, trailing the Nana. Yep, again, there's the triple greens right there, barely able to squeeze out in front of him. He's having to slow down so he doesn't team kill, but that looks like a top 2-4 for Roadrunner
I think
races.
The funky player is on Idaho. So I think
oh wait, yeah, you're right.
6.
Yeah, you're right. Top 2-6.
Okay, that looks like a pretty
even was on there.
back and forth race back and forth. That looks like an even race. I don't hate the decision on AFK to slow down there because you don't want to get trailed out by those triple greens and potentially lose your team a spot.
Yep.
Just securing that 3 spot, even if your teammate passed you, you still get that 3-4-5 because you didn't risk to try and squeeze past those greens at the end. And that's kind of the big thing in 6v6 formats. It's really smart just to take the points you have guaranteed.
And plus, it was only teammates passing him anyway, so it wasn't even a loss at all for him, really.
Yeah.
So, neutral play, and he didn't lose any spots from it, so it actually kind of ended up working out for him. But it looks like we are on Roadrunner Racer POV. They are gandering at the track selection here. We'll see what they go with. They have top 2, so we'll see how well they take advantage of it here. But it looks like they are going to Donut Plains 3, which is a solid, track that's like, you can skill diff on this track, but there also is a lot of shortcut potential that you can use to catch up. So We'll see what they can do here. And it looks like we are going to Vancouver. So, again, another really interesting track that I feel like you don't see too often in competitive play.
Banger music to go with it, too.
True.
Like the booster first pass credits. It's, that section where they start playing the Vancouver music and the credits for the booster course pass is so good.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of good music in the tour tracks, but here we are going into the race. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a solid drafter track here. Like correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, there's a lot of just like straightaway stuff up here that people can draft off of others with, and it looks like we have UI already taking that first place spot, and we'll see if Slap the Rat can just try to break into the top spots, but we'll see what happens. It looks like a very early, like top 3 for, or almost top 3, top 2, 4 for UI.
Yeah, it helps the Roadrunners are maintaining some front presence on this track. That was a really good green if they hit him out.
I think it did.
Gotta be careful with these triple nanas though. Don't want to hit out Slap the Rat because he is your... Oh, well, there he goes.
And he gets greened out instead. But yeah, gotta be careful with people shooting through the cut. We'll see if Majin here tries to do something with these nanas. Maybe throw them up at the set. Ooh, barely dodging the fire there. And we'll see what he does right here at the item set. Choosing not to chain them. Holding on to them. And he pulled a shroom. Now there is a shortcut up here, but who knows if they're going to go for it. I mean, he's probably going to hold on to these nanas here just for safety. But
looks like he's opting
we'll to
just hold on to the nanas for defense.
Yeah, which isn't too bad of a play. Backing them over here there at the double box. And it looks like he has 2 shrooms here, so we'll see what Majinaki does here. I wouldn't be surprised if he used it up in this ice rink section to chain into the next set here. Which, yep, there it is.
This turn is really tight. Yeah.
Ooh, almost gets trailed out. And, yeah, looks like UI just has top 2 here, pretty, like, on lock. So we'll see what Majinaki does to try to break in. Ooh, and this is a solid pull, but has to watch out for the bomb. Gets fired out, but looks like he can cut up here. Is choosing to hold on to his shrooms here. And we'll see if, you know... Oh, and it looks like UI is holding on to blue in 8.
Yeah.
But we have...
Idaho had a lot of that back presence, so I'm not surprised that they managed to pull blue there.
Yeah, but Majin getting greened out here, barely navigating the ice rink, but it looks like that's his teammate near him, so it looks like they're holding on to 3-4 here, but, and I think that's how it is going to go for them.
Yeah, flipping the script from last race, where it was Roadrunners in top 2, instead now it's Idaho in top 2, with the mid-pack still being mixed either way.
Yes, they were able to take advantage of their track pick, and they made it work. But it does look like they have a bit of bottom spots, so we'll see how that is there for them. But we are now going into race 3, and it looks like we have kind of top 2-5 or top 2-4 for Roadrunner Racers here. I mean, not Roadrunner Racers, UI. And so we'll see what they can do with these. They can pick a solid runner. Oh yeah, race 4, yeah. And so, yeah, it looks like the UI is going to be going with Cruiser here. So, yeah, strong runner. You know, this is also definitely kind of a skill depth track because, again, the table section can be a little tragic if you don't know how to navigate it too well. Can mess up a lot of people's stuff. And it looks like we have Roadrunner Racers going to Sunshine.
I think Roadrunner Racers are currently very confident in their ability to take control of the mid-pack, because that's what happened in Vancouver, where the Roadrunners had, I think, 6, 7, 8 at the finish line, as well as a couple of those top spots. So while they didn't have top 2, Roadrunners, by picking Sunshine, is feeling confident that they can use their mid spots to get into the front spots through items, especially on Sunshine, where if you pull a shroom from that first set, you can break away immediately.
Yes, so we are now going into Cruiser here. So we have a lot of top spots here. Majin opting to go for the left path is interesting, and we'll see what he can do here. He pulls red, so we can see how aggressive he can be. But ooh, wow, the red hit both of the teammates. Unfortunate Mario Kart lag, and it looks like more Roadrunner Racer players are getting hit out. And there's the evil table section that is messing up a lot of people's lines. But yeah, Majin barely getting shelled out by Light and ends up hitting one of the other UI players in the process. So it looks like we have UI in first place here. And it looks like RRG has Fire in 6th. So they have a lot of these mid-pack spots solidified. And we'll see what they can do here to break into the top spots.
Yeah. I think Roadrunner still has some front presence. I didn't catch what team the Idaho, or not the Idaho, the Rosalina played for. That might be Idaho, but I'm not confident in it. So, it does look like...
Yeah, the Rosalina is Idaho.
Okay, the Rosalina is Idaho. It does look like the Roadrunners have a lot behind one, though. Now taking over one as they hit out the Rosalina.
Yeah, UI has a ton of bottom spots. The Rosalina is kind of alone in the front here. But yeah, we start to see the RRG players start to break into the top spots here. So we'll see what happens. And it looks like, oh, UI
That's
is
a
just
top
getting
5.
redded out. And now RG is just holding on to this top 3 here. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. UI's going to have to pull something pretty lucrative here if they want to break into these top spots. Because right now, this
Oh,
is
that
like
shroom was
held
so
down.
aggressive. Yeah, it ended up not paying off, but this race is going to be massive for the Roadrunners.
Yep.
And
Oh my
you
gosh. And
hate to
AFK just
see
getting
it.
hit on the line. And so that is going to be 3, 4, 6, 7 for UI. I mean, yeah,
They got,
by the looks of
no,
it, kind of,
it was a top 2-0 for the Roadrunners. They all got hit out at the
yeah.
end.
All right. So they,
Yeah, I think it was
Mhm.
top 2, 8, 9, 10 for Roadrunners, which is it's nice to get the top spots, but at the same time, having that top 5 going into the final set and then just losing it's got to feel rough.
Yeah, and we see UI going with Athens, and this is what I was talking about earlier with Roadrunner Racers picking very interesting tracks for their top spots. They have top 2, and they're opting to go with Sunset Wilds, which is interesting. I mean, not something you would typically see, but it looks like we see UI going with your typical anti one, but UI is going with a bagger here, and it looks like we are headed to sunset. So, I mean, we'll see if we can see them potentially just, I guess, skill diff on a bagger. I mean, I guess maybe they can just out bag UI, and they're just able to do it, or maybe they're just good at driving Sunset Wilds. Either way, we'll see how this plays out, and maybe this will work in Roadrunner Racer's favor.
Maybe. Although I notice that, at least in the D5 semis match, that the Roadrunners, even when they pick these traditional 66 bagging tracks, they tend to want to take control of the front presence, which isn't inherently the worst idea ever. However, in this case, when Idaho has a lot of back presence, there's going to be
Yeah.
shocks and there's going to be blues pulled, which is not very good if you are all in the front.
Yeah, especially when they have like 3 of bottom 4. It's like RG, they kind of need to drop out here, but they do have last place. So, I mean, but yeah, I mean, they do have last, but it's like they aren't in the optimal spots to pull dodges. And there's the blue. We see it already out here, hitting out Majanaki and one of the UI players. So, yeah, and he gets redded out from the triple reds from Light. And we'll see what is going on here. We have AFK in first place here with a rank. This is a really solid pull. We're going over to Majanaki's POV, and he has a crazy 8 here with a star. So we'll see if he changes the star in a set here. Maybe he could pull something good. He is in the
That's
bottom 4
not the
spot.
pull
He
you
has
want.
golden. Yeah, he needs to start using that golden now because he needs to be able to chain it in the set after this. So we'll see what he can do here. But it looks like UI just lost first place. So yeah, they're also kind of just alone in the front. But we'll see what happens here. Majanaki barely grabbing the double here. That's a pretty
Great
solid
pull.
pull for the end.
No, he
Oh
couldn't
my
get the dodge
gosh.
out.
Yep.
And the
Oh,
ground shroom
he
got
gets
stolen
stolen.
too.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like that
Yeah,
was
I
a
mean,
UI shock.
yeah. We'll see. AFK has to throw this fire up and try to hit him out. Unfortunately, he's got to shroom up, barely scrape him by, and it looks like that is a 1-3 for
Just
UI.
lost it. And
Yeah,
that's some
barely missed
Roadrunner
out on
players in the
second.
back too. Oh, never mind. So
Roadrunner looks like they have a ton of mid spots.
yeah, I think it was 2, and then almost everything behind 3. It was 4, 5, 6, 7, and
Mm-hmm.
then Majanaki got stuck in the back at 9. That shock did him no favors. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
flipping the script from last race, where going into Sunset Wilds, we had Roadrunners at 2 top spots and a bunch of bottoms, whereas now Idaho's 1-3 nothing. It'll be interesting to see what teams pick. I think that a lot of these lower div teams tend to pick based on what tracks they like rather than what tracks are necessarily best for the situation. And that's why you see teams like Roadrunners Gaming picking baggers, even though they don't have what would be an like MKU high play bagging spots. It's still okay because they like the track enough that they know how to drive it.
True. And I guess it's kind of what matters, and I guess the lower div collegiate standings. So I mean, hey, if it works for them, it works for them. They made it happen, and they got the gain. So I mean, who am I to judge? Anyways, we are on Royal Raceway here, so I guess they have a lot of the bottom spots. So maybe they can kind of draft up here at the start. But we'll see what happens here. It looks like we have Hood and AFK just taking over these top spots really fast, and yeah, pulling out the red, but choosing to hold on to it. He could red out slap the rat, but again, it could lag up and hit Hood. But yeah, we'll see. He's going for the Nisk here, barely missing the ramp. And yeah, there he is. He's reading out a Roadrunner player, and it looks like they have 1, 3, 4, 5 there up in the top spots. And we see Majinaki's POV. We'll see what Majin does to try to break into the top spots here as he settles in the mid pack for this double box.
Royal is not a bad track to be in the mid pack on, because there are a ton of shortcuts at the end of the track. Shock is pulled pretty frequently, and especially holding on to Ghost in this spot, not only do you have a dodge, but because there can only be one Ghost in play, you increase the odds of your players in the back to pull that Shock, especially because I'm pretty sure those bottom players are at distance by now.
Yeah, and we do see both a player from like each team in the back there. And we'll see like who can kind of pull it. And oh, there's the Shock as we speak of it. And we have Majaki not able to pop his Ghost. So pretty unfortunate. But I mean, he is in 10th right now. So he is going to get a pretty solid box from the set here. AFK is just holding on to this horn. He could choose to horn out slap the rat. But I'm not too sure where he ended up going. Kind of disappeared on his screen. But yeah, he is just
probably
chilling.
Slowed down in fear of the horn.
Yeah. But he is currently just chilling in 4th with the horn here. Green in pocket. Not too bad, but we switch over to Majin's POV in 8th place here. Gotta watch out for the backfire from UI. And there's AFK still has his horn here. You can choose to chain it in his set. Majin slowing down to barely avoid the horn. And now Majin has 2 shrooms and a red here. Choosing to use his shrooms here and barely getting that red out on the UI player in the glider.
I like that aggression, because UI had a Shroom, so he wasn't going to pass him in the cut anyways, and it might allow some of your teammates with Shrooms to catch up. So, considering that Roadrunner was in that 1-0 situation, I don't hate the decision to try and play aggressive there and hit the Idaho player out of glider.
Yeah, and it looks like UI was able to get literally everything behind 1, and we'll see how that works out for them. I mean, they could definitely, if they wanted to, they could choose an anti-1, or they could just choose a runner and just, I guess, due to the sheer amount of them that there are, they could try to draft off of each other and take over the first place spot. But yeah, we'll see what UI does here.
Yeah, this would be in a tradition, I guess, more of like a higher, I don't want to say that, in terms of a team that has been together for a little bit longer, maybe you would feel confident picking a track like Weibo, which is pretty well known to be the anti-1, because if you hit 1 out on the boost panels, your entire team has already gone past 1, and now he's stuck in the back with no coins.
So we'll see what happens here, but it looks like we have Roadrunner Racers going to Snowland here, which I guess for the little amount of top spots that they have, this is a solid track pick from them. So we'll see how the baggage works for them, see if they're able to take advantage of it, and we'll see what UI can do about it, because they have a lot of the top spots.
It'll be interesting to see how many of these players in this room have practiced this track enough to know about the giant shortcut, because that's the reason why Snowland is such a strong bagger, because here, just after the tree where that first snowman is, you can take a mushroom cut there, and if you hop in the off-road, you can see some of the players doing it there on the mini-map. You can cut off that entire turn.
Yes, and it saves a crap ton of time. And if you're able to take advantage of it, it's really easy to catch up on this track, which is what makes it such a good bagger. And Majin just getting hit out by the triple reds, and ends up hitting one of the UI players in the process with his triple nanas. So, yeah, just barely dodging the backfire there. He's holding on to the shroom, and we already see a blue shell out. So, it looks like that is going straight to Roadrunner Racers, and hitting both of them. Yes, and barely dodging the Nana is AFK. AFK and Durner are able to take the shortcut here. So, I guess they have top 2 in pretty good spots. Ooh, and looks like AFK gets hit by the Penguin there. But it looks like this is a top 4 from UI. I
I
mean,
think it's a
or
top
top five
5,
actually. Top 5. They
almost.
do have
But
someone in the back. Yeah. Just about.
again,
But yeah, the
there's
RG player does get hit out, but he has a shroom. So I guess they kind of got to be careful here. But Majin has triple shrooms in the back. Now, if someone pulls Shock or Blue here, it could be pretty bad. Well, really bad if it's Shock or opposed to Blue Shell, because Blue, they have enough people in the top to where they can kind of like make it not as bad. But we'll see what happens here. We see people using their dodge items and all of that, and we see AFK shrooming into the double box here. It looks like UI has a break in the top spots, and AFK not getting his triple greens out to shield the red as he sits in 8th here. We'll see what he can do. He might lose a few spots due to people taking the
green
shortcut up
yourself.
here.
No, what
Oh,
is
it's
bounds?
Majinaki! And it looks like Majin
Tough
has to
finish
settle
for
for
him.
11s there. But it looks like UI
Wow.
gets 1-5 there.
Yeah, that 2-3-4 from Roadrunners really helped their race out because you saw it. UI had all the top spots, but that's the nature of these tracks with giant shortcuts. On lap 3, just because you have all those top spots doesn't mean you're going to be able to hold on to all those top spots.
Yeah, so now we are in a 1-0 situation for UI. So we'll see what they can do. I mean, they could choose to do a bagger because of the amount of spots they have, but it looks like they are going for a drafter here like Berlin. And it looks like Roadrunner Racers, they're going with DK Jungle, which is a solid runner that they can use.
My personal favorite runners. It's especially if these players know how to take advantage of the super bounce on the flower, it's very easy to get in the front. But instead, they're going to have to deal with the traffic patterns on Berlin, which is significantly less fun.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm a fan of most traffic courses, and I say most because Toad Turnpike is not quite it. But I mean, Berlin, Shroom Ridge, Moonview, I'm down for all those. So I mean, we'll see how lucrative these drafts can be, and see how many people get hit out by the cars. So
Yep.
yeah, we'll see what happens here, and looks like we're getting these first few item boxes. It looks like Majin has a shroom. There's the lucrative draft, and we see AFK just bagging off Rip here, which is certainly an interesting play for Berlin. And we see Majin over here. Looks like this is like a top 2 situation for Roadrunner Racers, and Majin has a really good pull for first place. Mushroom Triple Nanas is solid because I mean you can hold on to this mushroom and take a shortcut later on, but he has to burn it actually to shield the red. But again, yeah, holding on to these triple nanas is good because it's 2 sources of protection here in 1 item slot. So we'll see how well he can hold on to first place here. And he should be chilling as long as his teammate takes good care of him. So yeah, just gotta hope that he doesn't hit too many of the cars, and he should be chilling in first.
Does look like Idaho's crept up behind him, though. AFK managing to catch back up to the pack. Here comes the traffic section. I know this stream spot specifically in time trials is horrible because of that bus. That's my own personal trauma.
True. Now it looks like we have AFK with a star in 3rd here, and triple reds in pocket. Now that is his teammate in 2nd there, which kind of interesting to use the star there. Wouldn't have been my optimal star spot. Would have saved it for the shortcut there. And now his stuff is getting ghosted, no longer having those triple reds, so someone could be like pretty devious with those in the back. Just barely missing the double box, but luckily there's an item set right up here he can use, and we'll see what happens, like what he gets from there. But it looks like Majinaki, one of the UI players, just have this insane break in top 2. And wow, AFK barely dodging the thwomp there. And we see Majin in first here, barely line bailing, and looks like we see a UI player breaking into first there. Majin has 2 shrooms here. Looks like he's... Oh, and there's the shock. Now, it looks like... I mean, this could be pretty good for Majin. He has the better acceleration stat, and he is going to grow sooner. Having to go slightly better. Oh, it looks like the UI player. It was just lag. But it looks like Majin... Yeah, he's able... Yep. Oh, it looks like we have AFK here getting squished by the thwomp and getting redded in 10th. He is just getting clobbered by Muffin in the back there. But, yeah, it looks like bottom 2 from UI... This is looking pretty good for RRG. They're just kind of like getting a break going on here. So we'll see like if they're able to maintain this, or if UI is able to make some like big moves in the last GP here. But yeah, good stuff.
This race, or not this race, this match for game 1 isn't over yet. Because
True.
we do still have a couple races to go. And until the gap is at least one is big enough to the point where even if you get top 6 every remaining race, you win. This is still possible. UI's down, I believe that's 46, and there's
Yes.
still a couple races left to go. I think last GP.
Yeah, I think that's last GP. They can totally do it. They just got to get some good races. They really have to lock in and make it happen. And looks like Roadrunner Racers, they're going with Mario Circuit 34, a first place spot here, which, again, like I said, they have some interesting track picks for what they would consider top spots here. So we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see if Majin can just, I guess, outdrive on MC3. But again, this is a very shock. Like shock's very common on this track. So we'll see if Majinaki is able to just like hold down the top spots with stuff like shock and blue being potentially in play.
He's being very diligent about his coin collection, which is very good, because coins help a lot more than it seems like they should. That's an unfortunate red. Couldn't get the Nana out in time, but
Yeah.
because he has all these coins, even though he got hit out of 1, he can still stay close to these top spots.
Yeah, and again, it's MC3. I mean, this is a bagger, so there's a ton of catch-up potential here. So we'll see. We have always AFK pulling out the golden here, and we'll see if he's able to potentially get something pretty solid from the set here. And looks like he's just getting triple streams here, so he's kind of got to hope he gets something pretty good from this double box here, but it looks like he's opting for the single here, pulling his star. Yeah, this double is going to have to be pretty lucrative, making sure not to get hit by his teammate's star, and it looks like he is getting, triple stream star, so...
I don't even know if there's shock in play, because those back spots are not as far back as we're used to for
but I mean, there is blue.
Race.
There was just blue going for Roadrunner Racers here, so, I mean, it looks like we have UI in first place there based on the Funky Kong up there. Yeah, AFK is holding on to these triple greens here, and hits one of them out, hits 2 of them out. Making his way up in the 4th, we see Machinaki in 9th here. He has triple streams here, barely misses the chain, and that is going to cost him a ton of spots there. And AFK getting hit out by triple greens. So he is also just not getting optimal stuff, but Machin didn't lose as much. And as I say it, he gets hit by a bomb right on the line, but ends up in 9th place.
That was a crazy ending to MC3.
Top 2-6 for UI.
I think that's a slight win, but you don't need slight wins if you're Idaho right here. You need big wins. Like, you need a race where you can get a plus 30 on, because just the effects of that top 4 that Roadrunner Gaming had early in this match, but it still shows, because that is more or less what the difference is. It's, you take out that it was I think it was like a plus 32 early on. You take out that plus 32, it's anyone's game.
Yeah, and it looks like we see UI picking Athens Dash here, and Roadrunner Racers picking DK Jungle. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but it looks like we are going to DK Jungle, which is a pretty solid runner. So, I mean, UI is also in the spots. They have top 2 here, so we'll see. Like, maybe they could take advantage of this track being a runner. So, we'll see what happens here.
I love watching DK Jungle runs, because if you know how to drive the track better than everyone else in the lobby, you just get this massive break, because there's a lot of small optimizations you can do. Makes it a very fun time trial as well. I'm very interested to see if one of these players can take advantage of all the little things that this track has to offer and just get that early break in 1.
Ooh, always AFK, just getting put into a weird line and ends up falling off the track here. So he's kind of forcing to use the bottom spots here, but it's really not the end of the world. He is going to be, I guess, patrolling the back for the team here, which, you know, always needs someone back there in case of shock, blue, and all of that sorts. So we'll see what happens, but it looks like UI is just still chilling in top 2 there. They are taking advantage of this track being a runner, and they were in the spots for it.
And the other part about DKJ, yes, it's a very powerful runner, but you can't get too far ahead, because if you get too far ahead, then you get people in mid spots pulling some pretty ridiculous items.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Roadrunner Gaming is doing a very good job of trying to contest those top spots. Still, they're holding a lot of stuff behind top 2, but it is still very close, and there's still another lap left. So
Yeah, but top 2 starting to gain more and more of a break. I mean, Roadrunner Racers, they're gonna have to make some moves here. They're gonna have to make something happen. There is a blue out on the field, but I mean, we'll see if they have a potential dodge for it. But looks like they don't. But they are still holding on the top 2. Looks like they had a whole blue shell lead there. So we'll see if Roadrunner Racers Majin is starting to stream up here and ends up using his shroom due to the line fail, but he has a boomerang here, but it probably won't reach to the UI players, but it's like UI just has this top 2 unlocked. They have the front presence, but one of them dies, and it looks like we have Majinaki throwing the red up and holding a Nana in second here, and Dirter is just holding on the first place in there.
he's got to hold on to that run for dear life, because it looks like that's a lot of Roadrunner Gaming in, I want to say, the mid to bottom spots. This could be a huge race for UI if Dirter can just hold on to one.
And looks like he does. We have Majin holding a horn fire here. Yeah, and just chooses not to do it. I think horning the back that was shot at him. So it looks like we have 145, I think, for UI. Yep, 145.
That's still, again, a small gain, I think. But
yeah,
it's you need bigger races, like I said. I'm still not putting this out of the realm of possibility that UI can't come back in game 1. But it's also almost getting to the point where does Idaho start thinking, okay, game 1 is probably all wrapped up here. Even though there are 2 races left and mathematically they are still in it, it's not likely for them to take this game. I would be thrilled for them to prove me wrong, but is this the point where if you're Idaho, you have to kind of take that deep breath, take a mental reset, because just because you lose this match, just because you lost game 1, it does not mean it's over.
Yeah. So I mean, we're just match 2. Even if they're able just to not close out match 1, they have to make match 2 happen because that's what it ends up relying on. And it looks like we are going to Music Park here for race 11. So I mean, or race 10. I can't remember for the life of me. We'll see in just a second. So
I believe it's race 11.
Yeah, I think it is too. Yeah, race 11. So I mean, we'll see what happens here. I mean, this could be, I mean, the race to maybe turn it over and make this even more in the realm of possibility for UI. But yeah, they're just gonna have to make it happen if they want to seal the deal for game 1. And AFK already getting bumped out off the keyboard, so yeah, pretty unfortunate start. But we'll see what he can do to, I guess, bring it back in the rest of the race.
Music Park is a track where you can have those massive races because of just kind of how the track plays out, especially with that glider section on the end, where you can opt to take the glider section, like Majin's doing, which is generally safer but slower, or you could start doing those mini turbo tricks on the bottom path, and if you know how to do those, that's a big time save.
Yes, and it looks like we have a lot of UI players in the back. RRG is just holding on to top 2 here. So, I mean, yeah, UI they have to make the plays to break into top spots. And they just gotta, take advantage of their ability to mess people up in the mid pack and, just break in. I mean, we see, we're going with Majin's POV, and that is currently top 3 for RRG. So, I mean, UI, they gotta lock in, they gotta make it happen.
You can't play passive. You have to take those risks because, again, it's still possible, but you can't just let the race play out as normal. You're going to need to make a play with probably a shock here.
Yeah, we see AFK choosing to go around the super bounce there, which, I mean, he wasn't in the line to go for it, so good on him. But, yeah, we see triple reds pulled out here. This could potentially be a turning point. Done correctly. Unfortunately, there's the red. There's the blue. So, I mean, do they have anything to dodge it? It looks like they did. So, I mean, yeah, this is just looking like top 3 unlock right here,
Yeah, and
unless something insane happens.
I think that's going to be it for game 1. It looks like Roadrunner Racers. I
Oh, an
didn't know you could do
AFK.
that.
Yeah, unfortunately getting caught by the railing there. Majinaki over here, zooming through the grass at the end, locking in that top 2. It looks like Roadrunner Racers has sealed the deal for race 1. So, I mean,
Yep.
right now, at this point, I'm assuming we're playing where, yeah, top 4 for RG. I'm
That's a
assuming
top
we're
4
playing with the
6.
rule that it's like no repicks across like the whole set. So, I mean, if I were in UI's shoes, I would start picking tracks that I know Roadrunner Racers would pick in the next game, so they can't pick them. Or yeah, start picking them now, so they can't pick them later. But it looks like
Yeah,
UI is
that's
going for Twisted Mansion, and Roadrunner Racers going for Baby Park. So yeah, obviously a little I guess celebratory Baby Park for the win on match 1.
I mean, and all the power to them. Baby Park is a silly, goofy track, and if they want to play this game like a silly, goofy team, by all means, they can play the game all silly, goofy.
True. And it looks
I
like we
like
are
playing the
going to
game silly,
TM here.
goofy.
So, yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is the track that Roadrunners was picking on the first race. So, I mean, I think this might be one of their tracks. So, hey, this could be maybe just the slightest bit helpful for them in the next game. Who knows? But yeah, it looks like we see one of the players burning out in the top spots, and AFK just driving up into third place here with a red. So we'll see if he tries to be aggressive here to red out slap the rat. Looks like it might have been a lag red because he's still holding on to his Nana in front of him. So yeah, you see AFK with 2 shrooms in 4th place here. So yeah, probably gonna end up holding him on. Or no, shrooming up here. And maybe he'll pull something good for the giant shortcut up here. But again, he is only in 4th. So yeah, you just hold on to this shroom here.
Yeah, TM known for being a very powerful shroomer, mostly for this massive shortcut at the end, where if you have 2 shrooms, you can catch a lot of people at the end. But even smaller, there's this little library shortcut up ahead that AFK will likely, well, would have taken had he not gotten hit out.
From the red. Yeah, but we see Majinaki taking the shortcut, as we were mentioning it. So, yeah, now he's currently in 7th place here, choosing not to team the shroom and did the double. But, yeah, he's holding on to triple nanas here and can't get them out in time for that red. So we see AFK in 8th, 9th place here. Probably would chain the shroom up here, hopefully for a better box. That might have been a 9th place box. Pulls quad shrooms. So we'll see. Yeah, he'll probably take this giant shortcut up here. On the off-road, barely just hitting the tree. Forcing to use 3 shrooms because of it. So, lucrative horn by RRG there, killing some players.
Indeed, and, very lucrative.
Yeah, very lucrative. But we'll see AFK taking the shortcut here. Gotta watch out for the bill, but looks like it ended here. So we see AFK in 5th place here with a shroom and a red. You know, gotta be careful around that red. Shrooming up and trailing it instantly to be aggressive, establishing the 4th place spot there. But we'll see if he tries to throw it up here at Slap the Rat. Just defending it in the glider. So, yeah, right now, this is looking like a top 3 unlock for RRG. Yeah.
Yep. What a way to finish off the match 1 for the Roadrunner gamers. With the top 3-6. Just, I know the score says that Roadrunner Gaming won by as much as they did. They're up 70, and this is going to be like a plus 10. It's probably going to be like plus 16, somewhere in that range. So even though UI lost game 1 by like 80 points, it never felt like they were out of it. This was very close.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like there were a few big races, and that was about it. I mean, there are a few big races, and everything else I feel was just really small movements across the rest of the game. So yeah, they were keeping, they were holding their spots. They were holding down the fort. So I mean, we'll see what happens in the next game. It is very much not impossible for UI to, like, you know, lock in and take the match. So I mean, and push it to a game 3. They can totally do it. It's just, you know, are they going to be able to have that mental reset after the loss they just had and just be like, okay, we need to put in the work to make this happen. They really just got to power through the match and hopefully secure the win.
I mean, we saw it in Division 1 finals where Waterloo took game 1. I'm pretty sure this is not misinformation. Not this time. Where I'm double checking this right now. Now I'm paranoid. I do believe. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. But we've seen it before where teams that win game 1 lose game 2. It's certainly possible that Idaho can pull this back. And after seeing, I played in D2 NRC with some of the Idaho players, and they've looked a lot better from what I've seen this season in CKL than they did over NRC. They have the motivation to get better, and I honestly think that could push them to win this game too.
Yeah, and maybe that she could maybe that gives them some sort of adrenaline, like, okay, we need to beat them. We need to do this. And maybe that bit of motivation, that bit of adrenaline will be just enough for them to, I guess, push this into a Game 3 situation where they can hopefully seal the deal and get that nice looking banner. So, I mean, it's very much not impossible for Idaho to make this happen.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'd love to see them do it. It'd be a crazy comeback right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are some adjustments that need to be made. Mostly, as we kind of saw for most of the match, Idaho lost control of the mid-pack. If you look at those 4 through 8 spots, more often than not, you would see more Roadrunner players in those spots.
Yeah.
So if Idaho wants a chance to try and get back in this game, they're going to need to find a way to either take control of that mid-pack or utilize those back spots a little bit better, because there weren't that many shocks in play for that war. I think I remember maybe 2.
Same.
So
there was one on Royal.
There was one on Royal, and there was one more. It was Sunset, I think, were the 2 shocks that I remember.
Yeah.
So I think Idaho can, if they take that step back, they need to utilize the shock if they can pull it, because the important thing is if there's another situation where the Roadrunners have a lot of top spots, someone needs to call that out. Generally, if I'm playing a war and I notice after lap 1, partway into lap 2, the enemy has top 4, I'm calling for someone, we need shock, because the shock is that powerful of an item. It can flip a race just like that. So I'm very interested to see if Idaho can make that adjustment going into race 2. Or game 2, sorry.
Yeah, and if they can, if they can, this could be the comeback they need. And it's they also, I guess, it's entirely luck dependent with shock, but it's since RG tends to pick baggers, or I guess more interesting tracks for their top spots, that's kind of playing into Idaho's hands when they're not in the top spots. So it's they need, when Roadrunner Racers or RG, that was their tag, whenever they're in the top spots and they're picking their tracks like Sunset Wilds or MC3, they need to see that as their golden opportunity as they're playing into our hands. We need to take advantage of this being a bagger and us being in the spots for it. They need to have more back presence, I'd say, in those tracks, and more people going a little bit deeper for shock, and more people going and grabbing the dodges and dodging shock and getting the top spots that they need.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see if these adjustments are made whenever Game 2 happens. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Game 2, same channel, and keep tuned. Your Greg Bucks are not safe. I am coming for all of them.
Yes, watch out.
are so back. Welcome for Game 2 of your Division 5 Finals here in the Collegiate Karting League. I'm back. Still me. I got Wisp with me. What's good?
It is going good. We are back at it for Game 2 of University of Idaho Vandals versus Roadrunner Racing, University of San Antonio, Texas. And yeah, right here we do have the lineups pulled up because we actually have a change in the lineups on University of Idaho's side. So we have Dr. Shasta subbing out for Sphorius. So we will see this lineup change here, and maybe this will be like, I guess the change they need for UI to lock in. Maybe like Sphorius is just like they can cover what UI wasn't able to do maybe in the past match. Like maybe this is the change they need that will net them the win. Who knows? We'll see what happens with this lineup change.
Yeah, notably, Zephorius is one of those Idaho players who was in the top 20 for Indivs on the charts. This is a pretty big substitution for Idaho. I think this matchup is going to be a lot closer now that now that Idaho has one more player who can contest the mid pack.
Yeah, we'll see what can happen here, and you know, maybe this is a good change. But do you know if the match is starting soon?
I have told them that they are ready to start, or that we are ready for them to start whenever they are ready. So in just one moment, Game 2 will be underway. This time, Roadrunner Racing is hosting.
All right, so maybe we'll see what tracks they'll pick for their running spots, and and again, maybe they'll end up picking like one of their like odd, a little bit more different, unique tracks. So, I mean, you know, maybe UI could take advantage of them commonly picking baggers for top spots. So, we'll see what they can do here. But it looks like we are seeing Roadrunner Racer POV here. And we'll see what track they pick for the first race of Game 2.
It'll be interesting to see what runner. Oh, there we go. There's a runner that's chosen. It looks like I think that's Majinaki's POV. He switched his me from SpongeBob to Walter White.
And also we see, and looks like we are going to Wild Woods, which is pretty good for, I guess, the running spots. That is top 6 for Roadrunner Racers.
Yep. This track lacks a big shortcut, so it's difficult for players to come back even if they pull a shroom. So Roadrunners looking to take advantage of their top 6 the same way that Idaho was looking to take advantage of their top 6 with the Neo Bowser pick in the first game, but we saw how that one worked out. So strap in because this one's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, sometimes there can just be a little bit of chaos in the mid pack. So, I mean, it looks like we see Majin running out instantly, but he is chilling in 3rd place right now with a red behind Muffin, and it looks like Hood was able to take first pretty quickly. So we'll see if Muffin chooses to be pretty aggressive around Hood going through this item set here. But it looks like he continues to trail the red.
Because his teammate is in 3, it's not a terrible idea that Muffin could throw that red shell up at 1 to try and get him out. Although his teammate getting ranked out doesn't help him because now he's a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, and it looks like we see AFK chilling in 3rd with a rang and a red, which isn't too bad. He needs to get that red out quick, which is exactly what he is doing here. And yeah, getting another red here from the set. He needs to chuck that up soon, but it looks like we have Majin behind him, getting the bomb snipe in. And that is top 2 currently for Roadrunner Racers, top 3 maybe. But blue is out, and Majin is getting hit by the blue. So we'll see what happens here, but
yeah, it's
that
still
blue should
fine
do a whole lot.
Because the Roadrunner who was in 1 was so far in 1 that they're still in first even after the blue shell.
Yeah, but that lead is going away. So, I mean,
yeah, here comes
we'll
Idaho.
see if they can dial in and make it happen.
Idaho's not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, we have AFK currently just chilling in 6th place here. But RG has fire in front of him, but I doubt that he'll be doing it or using the fire due to the amount of players that are near him. But AFK is using the Shroom up here. He's holding fire in 6th. He can just be pretty aggressive here, and it looks like he is. So, and hitting 2 players with it. He's chilling in 3rd place here. It looks like UI is in 1st place right now. So, I mean, this could be a pretty solid 1-3 here. 1-3-4 actually. One of the mates streamed it up. 1-3-4 is really solid for race 1, considering they were not in the best spots for this. I think this might be a -2 or something.
That would have been
UI.
Yeah, I think that is. It's either -2 or even, but that would have been so. Yeah, that would have been so much worse for Idaho if AFK didn't play so aggressive with the fire. I believe that he hit out 3 players. Notably, the person who got first was the sub, Sephoria, stepping up immediately after joining the game.
So yeah, I mean, the even race there. So I mean, we can see how the rest of this will play out, but it looks like we are going to Madrid for UI and Bowser's Castle 3 for Roadrunner Racers.
I really like both these tracks, and I think they're both really great picks for where the teams are at. You can kind of run Madrid if you get the right stuff, and if your team is confident in it, Madrid's not a very easy track to drive. So I think that UI could take advantage of that here against the Roadrunners.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here, and yeah, UI picking on this track. They're getting their stuff here, and yeah, like you said, this is a pretty tricky track. There's a lot of strats like navigating the tables and getting some very lucrative MT tricks off some of the ramps, but we'll see if they're able to take advantage of it or if they can just outline in every other spot. I mean, who knows? This is their traffic, and we see Light just instantly breaking into lots of them breaking into the top spots, probably off of their drafts. And we see AFK throwing the red up pretty early on, going wide for the coins, and we'll see if he gets a shroom here probably to take advantage of this grass cut up here.
Yep, this grass cut is pretty massive. Even though it doesn't look like it's that big, you avoid having to go around that wide turn. So if you can pull those shrooms, you get up into those top spots.
Yeah, we see Majin in 4th place with the rank here. He's pretty aggressive with it here if he wants onto Zafori. And it looks like he is. Yeah, you have to dodge the green there. And he is chilling in 3rd place with the red, but UI is chilling in 1st place there. And also trying to break into the spots there, but is getting punished instantly as soon as they pass Majin.
That is why you get told to not pass people if they're holding a red. Because you can just let them hold the red until they have to throw it somewhere else. But the second you go past them, you're opening yourself to take that red.
Yeah, but it looks like we have AFK here in last. Now, this isn't horrible for him because, I mean, this is their track pick, so I'm assuming they know a little bit about it here. So we'll see if he potentially takes the cool glider shortcut up here, pulls off the SMT glider, and he just doesn't. Barely
on there.
Yeah, barely just getting enough height just to slip him over the fence, and now it looks like that's bottom 3 for them. But again, these last few turns of Madrid here are hectic. But Majin has been holding on to these items for a long time, but again, he hasn't had a real reason to use them, and the blue is out going for UI, so are they going to be able to dodge the blue, or will they just be hit out, and RG could potentially be taking in these top spots? But it looks like Durder ended up not being able to hit the dodge on the blue shell, or just might not have had one. Gets hit out by Majinaki's last throw in his ring.
This is going to be big.
Yeah. He's just a wall with these triple greens. That is a top 3, I'm pretty sure, for RRG.
That was a really... Oh, no, Derek stayed in 3.
Yeah, top 2, 4.
Yeah, that's a huge race for RRG. Again, a player making a really aggressive play with an item and having it play out, this time it being our other stream POV for the other team. Majin hit out, I want to say, 2 Idaho players with that ring. One of them at the beginning of lap 2, and then he hit out Derder to take over the tops in lap 3.
So yeah, sometimes you need to deploy that bit of aggression to kind of like solidify some top spots. And it looks like UI is going to be going with Yoshi Circuit as their bagger of choice due to the abundance of bottom spots. And it looks like Roadrunner Racers is going to go to Koopa Cape for their, I guess, mid spots.
I popped off a bit when I saw them pick Koopa Cape. I'm a huge Koopa Cape fan. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait to see it get picked.
Yes, we're going to Yoshi Circuit, most notably known as a bagger due to its insane build extension.
Yeah. Um, that although because it's such a strong track for bills, if too many people bag, you kind of risk not pulling the bill in a bottom spot because you can only have up to 3 of them in play in a normal match. So it kind of becomes this game of who wants to go back far enough to pull the bill and maybe risk only getting golden star.
Yeah, but it looks like there is two Roadrunner racers in the back and one UI player in the back. So again, UI is kind of outnumbered in the back here. So I mean, yeah, this is just kind of a battle to see who can pull the shock, who can pull the bills and the blues, and we'll see what moves can be made here. But it looks like UI is kind of chilling in first here. But again, it is Yoshi Circuit. It's a hard bagger, so Lights first is very much not solidified. It's kind of scary to be in first on a track like this.
Yep. And their slap taking over one temporarily. Having a bomb up there is kind of terrifying, especially with, I believe that's 5 people very close to the top spots. Oh, that was a
lot of chaos.
Very nice trail.
Yeah. It looks
and
like though we see Muffin just chilling in first place here. We see AFK is just getting redded out, and there's the blue shell getting thrown to RG. Do they have a dodge though for the blue shell? And it looks like they do. Muffin is just able to hold on to first place here. Majin holding a red in second place. They have top 3 here. Majin, yeah, just backing the red, taking the shortcut, and they're just kind of chilling in top 3 here. So I mean, with UI and right behind the top 3 spots, are they going to be able to break in and make something happen?
Someone's coming up in a build. They're going to gain a lot of spots right here. I didn't see who it was going in. It is a Roadrunner player. So this is looking to be another massive race for the Roadrunners, especially considering this is at least top 3. And Idaho's stuck in all the bottom spots.
Yep, blue at the end, and that is a first place for Majinaki there. And we see AFK chilling, getting at 6th place, but that is a guaranteed gain for RG there, getting a top 3.
I think it was about top 3-7. Well, AFK's
going to do 3-7, bottom 2.
Up the
not bottom 2, unless I'm stupid.
Yes, it was bottom 2.
Well, so bottom 2.
That is 4, 6. I think that's plus 10 for the Roadrunners.
Yes.
So, again, the Roadrunners are slowly gaining a lead. They're not breaking away like they had on the Neo Bowser race in Game 1. But Idaho's got to have something happen. You can't let this game slip away from you too early. Because if you want to stay in here and contest it, you have to make sure to keep this close, within 1 race. As soon as it gets outside of that 40-point range, which is how many points a top 6 gains you, it becomes a lot. Not only does it just become a lot harder to come back because you need more races, but it's also a little more. It's harder on the mental because you then get into your head, man, we need at least 2 good races to catch up here.
Yeah, and it looks like we are going to RG's runner of choice here, Boo Lake. So, I mean, we'll see if they are able to take advantage of their top 3 spots and see if they can run away on this track. This is a pretty big skill track due to the low ramp at the end, so we'll see if anyone does know how to take it. But, we see AFK chilling in 4th place here, trailing a green. Got to be careful not to hit his mates, choosing to opt to go around for the shortcut, which is a pretty smart play, just because he won't hit any of his teammates in the Nisk. And we see, just barely getting spun off the track there. And yeah, it looks like he is now in 7th place with Red Nana, and the red gets ghosted too. But we're going over to Majin's POV. He has red in pocket, green in hand. It looks like that might be top 4 for RG at the moment. Blue is out, so I don't know if Muffin will have something to dodge it with, but it looks like he's able to stall it on a Nana, and it looks like Majin is just able to clip the blue explosion, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yep. Although Blue Lake is a very chaotic track. It's not only is it a short track with a lot of items, but a lot of the paths are very narrow, which means it is tough to avoid things. I would not
Yes,
be
especially
surprised.
bombs.
Speaking of,
On the topic of bombs.
I would not be entirely surprised to see a lot of the mid-pack spots. Oh no, he wasted the
Oh,
horn on
he
the fire.
just burned the horn. He chose to be aggressive with the horn, and now his teammate in first place is gonna have to pay the price of him wanting to be aggressive. I mean, yeah, we see AFK here trying to shroom up and get some last second spots, pulling out the reds at the very end, but it looks like that is going to be a lot of top spots for RG there.
They
Majin
got,
getting
I think,
last place
that might be.
there. Ooh, you
That's
only got a lot of, they got a lot of mid spots.
that is a pretty even race, I think. Um, yeah, Roadrunners got top two, but they didn't get much else past that. UI was able to take control of those mid spots. The question is now, what track do they pick to take advantage of those mid spots going into the next race, which is the start of the second GP. This is where I think this GP is going to make or break this finals right here for Idaho,
Yeah,
because if you can either keep it within like 10 points or even take the lead after this GP, you're going to have so much confidence going into the end of it, knowing like you had this massive GP to overcome this 30-point deficit, and you can get right back in it.
mm-hmm. Now here we see two actually really good shroom up tracks. So, I mean, not gonna lie, both of these tracks actually work pretty well for UI considering the amount of mid spots they have, and both of these tracks have really good like early shroom up spots. So we'll see
Yep.
how well they can take advantage of it here going into Rome Avanti, which was their track pick.
Yeah, this is a track pick I remember seeing the Idaho players pick a lot in NRC. It's a very good drafter because that first turn you can get an item spot in a bottom position, which at the first set, if you are below 8th place, you are guaranteed a shroom in a 12-player room, and then you can get a draft. And like you mentioned, there are two major shortcuts in the first section, and after that, there's not really a shortcut until the end of lap 3. So if you can take a good advantage of a draft in a mushroom, you can just get into those top spots and break away.
Yeah. And then the ending shortcuts usually utilized as to catch up some last second spots. AFK getting bumped out pretty wide, but I mean, he does have these shroom cuts here that he can take advantage of, holding onto the shroom, which is good because he ended up not being able to get a box here, but it looks like he's going to take this cut up here. But he has Majin shrooming up with him, but he is only able to gain one spot off that. We have Majin's POV right here. He is in third place, barely cutting off that lamppost there, and it looks like Durdur is in first place right there, but he is kind of like behind him. He has RRG players, so we'll
That's a
see if he's able
lot.
to hold on to it.
I think that's a lot of Roadrunner behind one. There's one of them in the back, at least, but the Funky and the Peachette are both Idaho. So I wonder if. Wait, he pulled triple shrooms at this distance. What?
Yeah, that is pretty lucrative triple shrooms here. Yeah,
That is
not very
ridiculously low.
common.
Oh, the red forcing Idaho to burn their horn in one. So now Durder
Yeah,
has to take the blue.
choosing the Shannon's items here as a play, and he is just the red merchant here, just killing first out there with that red, and he is now pretty solidified in first there. He's just got to hope that second place doesn't pull any items to hit him out. But there's the shock. I think that dodged an RRG player in the mid pack.
I think you're right, it did, and it even called Majin into the second to last set, so he can get an item.
Ooh,
Oh,
gets
that's unlucky
just smart
though.
bounce by Green. Durder has he's up there, but he isn't able to take the shooting cut. But Hood is. Gotta watch out for the triple greens there.
The
Going,
nano
oh,
on the
just getting
ramp.
hit by the nano on the left. He's gonna have to shroom up here and try to do what he can. He can be aggressive with the triple greens, but make sure not to hit his teammates. And he is solidifying up fifth place. That could have honestly been way worse for him. But that is a top 2, 4-5 for RRG, and UI has just gotten a lot of bottom spots there. RRG is just slowly extending their lead the farther we
Yep.
go into this. So, I mean, UI is going to have to make something happen fast if they really want to push this to a game 3.
It was just unfortunate for Idaho that the person who pulled shock was on the Roadrunners, so they were able to not only ensure that they had items going into the chaotic final section of the track, but also they were able to. What am I saying here? They were able to use those mid spot dodges to get more of those top spots.
Mm-hmm. But as you see, RRG, they really want that Koopa Cape there, despite how many top spots I got. I mean, they can take advantage of it, but it looks like we are going to Koopa Cape, and we saw a Merry Mountain pick from UI, which pretty interesting track that you don't see often. But Koopa Cape will be the track we are headed to today, or not today,
Yeah.
but before this race.
Yeah. This is like you said, it is a very good streamer because of the massive cut at the start of the water section. However,
Mm-hmm.
if you know how to drive this track, you don't necessarily. It doesn't. Because, again, this is the 5th division, so some of these players don't play nearly as much Mario Kart as, say, some of the D2 or D1 teams do. They do still like being competitive and playing with each other, but they might not. But they might not have the time to practice every track in the game. So if you pick the tracks your team is comfortable on, you can take advantage of these little things to use them in ways that they're not normally picked for.
Mm-hmm. We see Majin over here getting redded out in 5th place here, but he is holding on to his shroom here in the mid pack, so we'll see if he can utilize it. But UI is in top 2 right now. I mean, hey, maybe this could be the race they need. We'll see how well they can hold on to it. But I mean, this is just from my prior experiences on Koopa Cape, but I feel like there is always a blue on this track. I mean, it's a longer track. TTs are usually about like 2 minutes long for your average person. So I mean, this pretty long track. Items are pretty plentiful, I feel. So we'll see if they can possibly see if RG can pull a blue here. But it looks like we are kind of over here to Majinaki in 3rd place here, just holding a red in 3rd. And, looks like he's going to go up to 2nd because it looks like the UI player, Dirter, ended up going for items there on the half pipe, which, might be a bit slower, but sometimes you do need those extra items because they might help you in the long run.
I think that's also the smart play to make in this situation, because Dirter saw that the guy behind him had a red shell, and he didn't have anything to... Oh no, did Hood hit a Goomba?
He might have. And
oh
it looks
no!
like that puts Majin at 1, but there is a player behind him with a shroom, so, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw someone shroom up here. Majin taking a slightly wider line, but he is holding 1st place here. UI is right behind him, but that is also bottom 3, I think, for RRG, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it looks as if,
Yeah,
even though there's a couple Peachettes up at the top now, this could be a really big race.
yep.
They were holding
looks like
blue.
They might have been holding
Majin.
blue, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the typical blue, but luckily RRG was able to pull it on their side and take advantage of it, but this might be a bottom 3 for UI here.
It looks the Luigi was back there, so okay, Light managed to pass the Luigi, but again, Roadrunner taking top 2, Idaho getting bottom 2. It's not looking good for the Vandals.
Yeah. Yeah, RRG, they're just getting the races they need. They're able to make it happen in the mid pack and just hold on to these top spots. We're cutting over to UI's POV. Saw Merry Mountain get picked over there, but now we're over here on Roadrunner Racers, and we'll see what track they'll go with here. They have the top spots, so I mean they can pick a solid runner here, or but Moonview Highway. I used to play on Peach State Patriots, and I remember back in season 1, and this was one of the tracks I loved picking whenever I got first, and even this past season when I got to play. Solid runner track that you can hold top spots on, but it looks like we're going to Merry Mountain, which Merry Mountain is something you don't see too often. It's certainly an interesting track, but I mean, hey, maybe this is their niche track that UI happens to be good at, and maybe they can take advantage of it. Who knows? Maybe they are down like 70 currently, so maybe this is like the kind of kick they need that pushes it like into like, hey, this is our comeback, and we're kind of like setting our foot in and kind of like making it happen. This could be it. I mean, you never know. We're only halfway through, so it's like this is still comebackable, but it will be difficult for UI as AFK gets rutted out here right before the item set.
Yeah, I've seen comebacks of this caliber happen before, but this is kind of a dire situation for UI. This is a streamer track because of this massive shortcut right here. You can pull mushrooms and save a lot of time. Because it's also a streamer track, this means that things like shocks and blues are more likely to happen. And again, all of this war, similar to the last game in game 1, we're seeing that the Roadrunners are just taking advantage of those power items, and Idaho's kind of lacking them. So Idaho has pulled a couple blues, but the one shock we've seen on Rome was massive for RRG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now we see AFK in 7th place. You're going to be careful around the triple greens. He is currently in 5th place. Blue is out, and I think that is UI in top 2 right now. So we'll see what happens with this blue. We'll see how devastating it can be to their top spots. But it looks like that we do see the Rosa in first, which we know is UI. And it looks like AFK might have successfully been able to get the red off. But this is looking really good. This might be, I think, top 4,
they
top
might
5.
be top 6 right now.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll hold for, but this
it's not top 6, it's top 5. But they got to be careful. We see Zilfa just is holding on to triple shrooms right here. They could take the shroom cut up here. This could be pretty big for them. We see Majin in 7th here also having shrooms. He's going to be able to take the cut. And yeah, he is chilling in 5th here. But it looks like he's getting redded out here. This could be pretty good right here for UI. They have a lot of top spots. He needs to throw the red. He isn't able to get a last second spot, but this might be top 4-6 for UI. And
not quite. There was a Roadrunner in 2. But
in that second.
That's still the kind of race you need. Like, you have top spots now. You've taken control of the match. This could be the first step in Idaho's comeback. That's the kind. It is a little unfortunate that the Roadrunners were able to slip into 2, especially when at one point you more or less had top 6.
Yeah.
But that 70-point gap has narrowed. It is.
Yes.
I think it's Ninja Hideaway. Ninja Hideaway.
Oh my gosh! As the Ninja Hideaway enjoyers, we are very happy to see that UI is picking Ninja Hideaway for their top spots. This is awesome to see on the board in especially a Division 5 match where typically you wouldn't see tracks like this. But I think there might have been a DC on the RRG side because of the layout of people on the tracks.
Yeah, it does look like somebody DC'd.
Yeah, we see someone hopping back in. I think
I think that's Slap the Rat who DC'd. I could be wrong. That might be his me. But anyways, Ninja Hideaway could be a massive knowledge check.
Oh, we're going to BC3. Going to BC3.
We'll have to wait for our time.
We'll have to wait. Potentially, they have a few more races to pick Ninja Hideaway. I love to commentate over a Ninja Hideaway race because I don't think I've ever seen Ninja Hideaway while I've been casting for CKL. So it would certainly be awesome to see a team actually pick it. I'd be their #1 fans. But anyways,
absolutely.
We are going over to BC3. And again, this is also kind of a runner track here. So we'll see if UI is able to take advantage of it. We'll see what happens here. Yeah. I mean, there is also the big shroom cut after the next item setup here, so we'll definitely see AFK if he's able to hold on to the shroom. We'll probably see him and Majin next to him be able to cut up here, but Majin burning a shroom early, and we see AFK using the cut to take over 2nd place.
Bowser's Castle 3 is a very interesting track, because you can ask anyone in the community what this track is going to be picked for, and they will all give you a different answer. You can pick it for... Yeah. I personally like it as a shroomer, like a shroom runner kind of thing. If you have like 3-4, you can get it. You can try and pull shroom at that first set, go immediately into 1 before the 2nd set, and try and coin up and break away from there.
Yeah, also this track kind of works like that. Unfortunate thwomp for Majin there, but yeah, we see, I think this is top 3 for UI, but this track also works really good for those spots because of the straightaway right after the first or 2nd item set rather, because that is a really good straight shot to just shoot greens down and just nail people right at the start of the track. So I mean, it could be pretty good for stuff like that as well. But yeah, we see AFK holding a shroom in 3rd. They have top 3 kind of chilling up there, but
okay. I was thinking that maybe they didn't know what the fire cycles would look like on lap 3 because they are different, and you have to take a wide line to avoid it. However, it won't really affect the Idaho players as they do have a horn, So AFK can take a wide line
Yep.
here, and Hood will be able to horn the blue and hold down 1.
Yeah, AFK had to take the wide line, which unfortunately costed his second place there, but it looks like that is going to be 1-3 for UI. Yeah, 1-3-7. Yeah, this is looking like another gain for RRG here. So, I mean, yeah, this is like we're going into, I think, was that race 9? Or I think that
That
might have
was
been race.
race 8.
That was race 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are going into the last GP here. So this is where it all happens. Right now, UI is not in the greatest position here. So they kind of need some lucrative races. They need some, like, races that were kind of like, crap. What did they play right before? Mary Mountain. They need more races like Mary Mountain to occur because they need some just really dominant tracks. Some tracks. Ninja Hideaway be a very good option, and we see it. We see Ninja Hideaway again. This is another very niche track that has a lot of tricks in it, you could say. So we will see what happens in it. Oh my gosh, I think we are going to Ninja Hideaway. Oh my gosh.
As casters, we have to remain unbiased towards every team, but I think right now,
Yeah.
Idaho's my favorite.
Yeah. We're gonna be Idaho fans for a race, and then we will go back to our unbiased stances. But yeah, I love to see the Ninja Hideaway play here. Very happy to see. You never see it too often. Yeah, Zay, start taking notes. Anyways, we see currently Majanaki has a Shroom in 6th here, so we'll see if he's able to take the shortcut early on, but looks like he doesn't. He's going for the top path here, which, unfortunately missing it, but Lactus is able to save him. Top path's good because not only does it provide double boxes, there are 4 coins right there that are super easy to get. And unfortunately, he is going to the top path here, which is a little bit slower, but also is kind of safer as well. But yeah, you're kind of forced into a wider lineup here, and there's also only 1 double box instead of 2. But yeah, it looks like Majin is able just to chill in 6th here, and he is currently just having to shoom up here. It looks like UI, they have a slight break in 1st place here. Majin having to watch out for the bouncing green. And yeah, we see AFK getting lag-nanded by Muffin.
I think Muffin also fell off the track.
Perchance.
This is... Oh, no.
Oh, just barely not having enough speed.
Just as I was about to say, hey, maybe Idaho knows how to weather the jank of Ninja Hideaway, because there are some stuff that is a bit tricky to figure out, but once you get it down, it's consistent.
Yes.
It looks like whoever's in 1 knows how to drive this track, but just because one knows how to drive the track doesn't mean that you can have your good races, because here's the Roadrunners are everything behind them, which makes 1 susceptible to be hit out.
Yeah, Durer's kind of breaking into the top spots here. He has his triple nanas out, but 1st place is starting to get that break, and AFK is holding Shock in 9th. They got to use this whenever they can right here. You just got to make sure not to dodge that many RRG players because they are popping their bills. AFK is forced to take some weird lines because he can't pull that Shock out and dodge them, but they're going to have to pop this Shock soon.
Gotta use it soon.
Yeah. They got to pop it out. They're near the end of the race. It's got to happen. It might happen soon. There's a UI player in dodge.
Shocks him off respawn.
Ooh, that is unfortunate.
But I think they held it for too long. They let the Roadrunner players... Okay. No, that's a good race. That's a win.
Solid gain from them there. But again, I feel like they could have just had it a little bit better if they used it just slightly sooner. Like, if they shocked, way before, who was it, Majin fell off the track, that could have been, I feel like, a little bit more lucrative for them.
I think what they could have done, and this is something that you see teams do with their shocks, is you'll see whoever's in a top spot often will call themselves into a set. Because if you don't dodge the shock, you lose your item. But if you can go into a set, you get to get new items, essentially. So I think what Idaho could have done is if whoever was in 1, I didn't see who it was, it might have been Hood, was safe and comfortable, they could have called themselves into that 1st set. But also, these teams are newer players compared to some of the higher divs, so they might
Mm-hmm.
not have the experience to call their own shocks. That's not an easy thing to do,
Yeah, shot
and
calling is difficult.
it's a lot of pressure too because of how much power the item holds.
Yeah, and as you see now, we are going to Ribbon Road, which is another very niche track that you also don't see too often in the higher div carters. So, yeah, very, very interested to see how this goes for them. A lot of the ramps that are at the end, the boost ramps, can be, pretty lucrative if you know how to take them fast enough, but they're also kind of dangerous as it's very easy to get bumped off them, or if you have the slightest mess up in your alignment, you can fall off them. So we'll see how well people can navigate these upcoming ramps.
It looks like there's a Roadrunner player all the way in the back. I don't know if somebody disconnected or if, because I know Slap the Rat was on P-Chat, so maybe Slap disconnected again. But also, he could just be bagging because Ribbon Road is a good bagger. There are shortcuts that you can take. Shrooms are very powerful, and there's even a really large bill extension right at the start of the track.
So it looks like we see Majin here chilling in fourth to the right. It looks like he says to chuck it up, and yeah, but it looks like he's still holding on to that fourth place spot here. Looks like we have Muffin in first place here. AFK in second with a green. Decides to get rid of it. Pulling double reds. Choosing to hit out Muffin here. But has to shield. Oh, no, he doesn't have to. Does look like red wasn't going for him. But yeah, ooh, a little bit of line failage there. But he was able to hold it together. And it looks like he's able to snag the double box, getting Nana Green, which isn't too bad for his spot. Double protection's pretty good, but it looks like RG was able to pull a mushroom and take the cut up there.
I wonder if RRG is currently holding blue in one of their back spots, because I know they had some back presence. It's certainly possible that the red getting you through the trail sucks.
Yeah, there's the blue though.
Yeah, hitting.
They had a horn though. Ooh, so that was a pretty lucrative horn. So we'll see what AFK can do to try to make some spots up. Barely misses the double, but we're cutting over to Majin's POV, and we see him in sixth place here with some shrooms. Gotta watch out for his teammates' fire if he decides to chuck it up here. But yeah, missing the box there, and
that's okay.
Yeah, but he has the shroom, which is all that matters. His teammate has a bomb, so I wonder how devastating that can be in the back. And it looks like
is that a top four? Oh no, wait, no. UTSA was in 1, but Idaho had 2 through 4.
Yeah, I mean, no, Slap the Rat got 1.
Yeah, okay, so it's 2 through 4, 6, bottom 2. That's, I mean, it's even-ish. Again, it's kind of that same situation at the end of game 1 where Idaho just needs a massive race. So
yeah, we'll see what they can do here. And they are kind of in a tough position. They're gonna have to get something big to happen if this is comebackable. I mean, I'm not too sure of what the point diff is currently, but we are going into the 11th race here.
It looks to be 56.
Yeah, this is doable.
It is doable, but you need
really hard. You need like near top 6 races both times. One of them might even just need to be a top 6 realistically. But like, yeah, I don't know how doable that is. It's gonna be pretty hard for UI to make that happen.
Yeah, and even if you're RRG here, you don't have to try and play super aggressive, try and take top spots. You can just kind of hold an okay race. Even a small loss is fine. As long as you don't get absolutely swept in a race, RRG is already thinking this banner's ours at this point. Which, it is still too early to say that for certain. But RRG has just looked... They've just been slowly pulling away. I mean, Idaho had their one race on Mary Mountain that was very good, but outside of that, they've just been beat just a little bit each time in a lot of the other races.
Yeah, it's just been a slow, steady increase to the top for Roadrunner racers, just slowly making their break with every race. But yeah, we'll just see if UI can maybe make something like Weibo happen here. But we see AFK unfortunately falling off the track there.
And that respawn is brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we see cut over to Majinaki's POV, getting redded out.
This is the longest track in the group. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say, this is the longest track in the game, so even if you get hit out early, it is still very possible to make a comeback. The other side of it being the longest track in the game is you will see several, as in multiple blues, maybe even 2 or 3 shocks, because I think even the world record for this track has got to be at least 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Or around there, or some low 220 or something. I don't know. But right now we see Majinaki in 10th place here, but he is also kind of like on a coin drought here, only having 2 coins, which, playing on Biddy, I feel like he kind of needs that for his speed stat. But we'll see what he can do here. We're cutting over to AFK's POV. He's going to be holding on to the shroom because pulling out that Crazy 8 could be a little dangerous. Yeah, opting to go for the left path here, which is, I think, is a pretty solid play. Able to safely get rid of the Crazy 8, but ends up throwing it forward into himself. Yeah, kind of unfortunate. Even on the slightest amount of like downhill slope, the small stuff like that can kind of screw you over.
Did the Funky Kong, was he holding a star or was that Shock? I couldn't. Okay, it's a star.
Yeah, most likely a star,
I couldn't see for a second, but I guess he's too far up to pull Shock. But this is the point where Shock would come out for one of the bottom spots.
Yeah, and we see AFK pulling out his star here, spamming those golden. We cut over to Majinaki over here. We see Hood taking the cut over there, getting redded out by Majin, and it looks like we have UI in first place there, but it looks like RG is just everything behind them. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this ain't looking too hot for UI here. That is a ton of yellow in the back.
Yeah, and it looks like with this, assuming nothing extremely drastic, we have officially crowned your Division 5 champions, the Roadrunner Racers.
Yeah, I mean, they just have one more race to officially confirm it. But yeah, they have a race to I guess, like, finish off the war. But currently there are no more points to be made for UI to get that swings them into the winning position. So that looks like it's going to be it for them. So yeah, they have one race left to finish off the war. But yeah, that was an insane set of finals. I mean, it was close between the two, but I mean, it was like small stuff every single race. And for Roadrunners was just able to slowly creep their way into having the lead that they have now.
Yeah, it was just, and the celebratory baby part coming out for the Roadrunners. It just, again, it didn't feel like Idaho was ever completely out of either of these matches. Just every single race, the Roadrunners pulled further and further ahead, point by point.
Yeah. So we are going to the last race, which is Maple Treeway, to finish off Division 5 finals. So, pretty long track. See some wigglers, I think. Celebratory wigglers.
There, it might just be Idaho going wiggler to have some fun with the final race.
Yeah. But, yeah, this is another really long track like Weibo, which is like, it's very prone to having more than one shock, more than one blue shell. So, I mean, yeah, so wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of those, but AFK getting a pretty big draft, unfortunately barely clipping the grass there, gets a pretty nice bush shroom there, though. Right now, Muffin is chilling in first place. AFK, unfortunately, drifting the wrong way, having to take the half pipe there to recover. And it looks like that there's a lot of top spots by RRG, because I see some yellow Yoshi in the back on the mini-map there. But, yeah, that is top 3 right now for RRG going into lap 2 as AFK gets hits out.
Muffin Man got bombed out by someone, too, so...
Yeah. Well, we gotta watch out for the horn there from Muffin Man. And we see, right now, AFK is just chilling in 11th place right now. So we'll see what he can do going into the next lap. But currently, Majin is in first place right now with a Nana and a coin as he traps the left doubles.
Mm-hmm. Man, and even though Idaho didn't win either game in these finals, you can't discount the season that they had. Again,
no,
like I said,
not at all.
5 of the 6 top 20 players in the league, or for their division, is ridiculous. They went 9-1. They had one loss, I believe it was to Eastern Kentucky early in the season. They came back and absolutely routed them later in the season. The difference was night and day. This is an Idaho team that I think is going to grow a lot in the future seasons, especially even next season in CKL. I think they could still very much make a case for themselves to be promoted up to D4, and I think that they have a shot at performing very well in D4.
That is a very, very tight timing for that blue dropout. I actually thought that blue was going to go to Majin. He barely dropped out in time, just so UI would have to take the blue. But that is a lot of UI top right there. We see Light currently, the one and only Wheeler chilling up there. And we see Majin with his Nana, unfortunately gone, getting redded out as well. That looks like, I think, top 2 or 1-3 for UI currently. And as we are going off the last glider, we see Majin checking off the tree branch, and now he is crossing the line. We see, for some reason, an image of a skeleton on the screen. And it looks like that is GG's. Thank you, Majin, for the silly goofball on the screen that you have been dragging around. But there it is. It looks like University of Texas San Antonio, your Roadrunner Racers, is crowned the Division 5 champions. Congratulations to y'all, and great job to University of Idaho for really putting up a great finals to watch and commentate to.
Yeah, that was an incredibly well played final by UTSA. They clearly had the game plan going into the match, and every race, well, most races you kind of saw it, where even if Idaho had those top spots, the Roadrunners proved that they had control of the mid pack at all times, and that was the difference maker. It was really well played by both sides, and this was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it was, both teams had to have a lot of strong players that, it made finals interesting, and it was actually, pretty close. Despite the point diffs, all of the games on the tracks are, really not that big. I mean, they were able just to slowly just make the lead. I mean, it really could have gone either way, I'm going to be real. It's just, it ended up going into Roadrunner Racers' favor here, and they were able to net the trophy.
Mm-hmm. And again, with this being one of the lower divisions, these two teams are still both very new, but like I said, both these teams had incredible seasons. Already Idaho is grinding in Lounge. Some of them are working to get better there on their individual level. I've actually played in a couple of their rooms before. When playing together, they have really good teamwork. And it was just a really, they're a fun group. They're all good sports. I'm looking forward to see the future of both of these teams, because I think both of these teams have some players that could be CKL stars in any season come down the road.
Yeah, they have a lot of strong players with a lot of good potential, and it's again, UI, I mean, if they, keep up this stuff that they're doing outside of just regular 6v6 collegiate, it's they have potential. They can make something happen. They have this whole off season coming up to realize hey, we made it to finals. I mean, because we made it to finals, that doesn't mean it's not impossible for us to have another good run like this again. It is a solid group of players. It's just, are they going to be able to take advantage of this off season and make it happen? Which, I mean, I think they can. I think both teams can. We can see a lot of improvement from both teams, and maybe next season we could see them go, I guess, up the divs. We could see some, I guess, maybe some of the players will decide to go to their own teams outside of just a regular collegiate and stuff for MK University, not MK University, MK Universal. But it looks like we have two players here I think we might be getting for an interview. I see Muffin Man and Majinaki kind of in the waiting room down there. So are we getting both of them in here?
I believe so, and I can go ahead and drag them both in.
All right, let's see them.
I'll do one at a time.
All right, it looks like we have Majin Aki in here, and we have Muffin Man joining us for an interview congratulations, y'all, on winning the Division 5 finals and all of that. Y'all put up a great match to cast over. And how are y'all feeling after this win against UI? And and we have Slap the Rat in here as well. How are y'all feeling after the win?
We're feeling pretty great. We're feeling pretty great, especially since we lost those first two matches in the regular season. It feels really, really good to win the championship here against UI. It just feels really, really great that we got this.
And that's something I wanted to bring up. At any point during like the game prep for this finals, did you have those two regular season matches in your head and like some kind of adjustments you wanted to make? Because you could completely flip the script on them in finals.
You want to ask him if they fuck with the skeleton?
Sorry.
Yeah, and the skeleton.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna let someone else answer. Go ahead, Slap.
Well, to answer the question, we were all super nervous about tonight's match. We didn't have Gachando, and we had him for both the past matches against UI. So that was kind of one thing that made us really nervous about tonight's match. But luckily, we were still able to do it without him. So I guess that worked out.
It sure did.
Yeah. I mean, y'all were able to really make it happen, and you just don't mind me asking, Marchinaki, about the skeleton at the end of the match. Was that the celebratory skeleton? I assume. You know, across the screen.
It was a skinny version of Shark Albert. We couldn't find Shark Albert in time, but it was a skeleton. We thought it was very funny. If we win the match, this was pre-planned, like months ahead. If we were made to finals.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly
Very
was,
goofballish of the skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Oh, were you gonna say something, Bob?
No, I was trying to figure out how to. So, even after game one, obviously, it started out pretty strong because you guys had that massive, I think it was plus 32 on Neo Bowser City, which was their pick for their top 12. Going into the second game,
The top 12.
did you have like any kind of game plan in mind to try and prevent Idaho from having those massive races like you had in game one to pull away?
So, after losing both matches to UI the first and second time, me and a couple of the other RRG members went back to the shop and organized our plan to like how we should play as a team. And we really like looked into tracks. Like we made a whole document over it, like stating what's a runner, what's a bagger, what's good, what's bad, like for our current position.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly that ended up working out for you, as it felt like even on their track picks, almost every race, you guys had a small gain. And over the course of 12 races, that built up to those bigger wins that you guys had. So, again, just congratulations on winning the banner in the season. I know for the Texas Unified people, it feels good to have a team that played together for the season and didn't have those gathering issues.
Yeah, it felt really, really good. Me, Slap the Rat, and Lucky Pro were all past Texas United players, and we finally got like experience to gather, have enough members to see like to properly schedule these matches. And I'm just really glad that all of us were available at these times, because we couldn't have done it without our top members here. And of course, I'm happy we were able to gather.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing y'all play and actually like get like seeing people from the old Texas Unified team actually come together again and actually just make another team to actually end up getting a trophy with too, which was really cool to see. But yeah, that it looks like that. I think that's gonna wrap up the interview here today.
I got
do you have
question
more
real
questions
quick.
here?
I got one more.
All right.
Looking forward, going into next season, because I'm a visionary. I like looking forward to the future for these kinds of things. What are your guys' goals like in the off season? You're gonna try and push further ahead to try and compete even in higher levels within the collegiate karting league. So you got any major plans in the off season for you guys, or is that kind of something that's a bit of a secret now?
Probably Lounge. A lot of us just joined Lounge. It was me, Majinaki, Unlucky Pro, and I don't really know if any other members did join Lounge. I'm pretty sure some did, but I don't recall them. But we're finally going into that and trying to improve playing Lounge. And yeah, it's been really great that we all managed to get Lounge together and start on that.
Yeah. Once again, congratulations for winning Division 5 in the 3rd season of CKL, and thanks again for popping in for the interview.
No problem. But one last thing, I forgot to say this last time, but I would also like to thank Mr. Brown for helping us this season as well, and I would like to thank as well all our other players as well. For playing.
Yep, absolutely. Because after all, it's all about the team, right?
Of course. Mr. Brown only played with us. I think he played with us the first UI game, and it was by the closest margin, like 40 points around, and it was definitely a lesson that we all learned together, and we all grew from it.
All right. Well, I think you guys have a lot of celebrating to do after a hard-fought win at the end of your season. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in and watching. Stay tuned, because once again, tomorrow night on the CKL Twitch channel, Division 3 finals between the University of Nebraska Reckless Reds and Rochester Institute of Technology will be live at 8 o'clock Eastern. So keep an eye out for that. We still have 2 more finals. And also on Wednesday, we will have the Division 6 finals between New Mexico State and BBU.
Yeah, that is, I guess that is going to be it for all of this. Thank you for everyone that ended up coming out and watching this. This was a great, finals to watch. Everyone put on a great performance for both teams. And yeah, it was nice being able to commentate over it again. Yeah, you have any last words, Bob, before I close it out?
Not many. Just remember that even in the off season, I can't believe I'm saying this again. Keep on giving her, bud.
Oh my gosh, get a load of this guy. Get a load of this guy. Anyways, that is going to be it for the Collegiate Karting League. This has been Wisp, and I've been tagged along with LeBob. And yeah, that will be all for tonight. Thank you for everyone for tuning in, and congratulations to UTSA for winning Division 5 finals. Stay guided, y'all. Adios.
Catch you later.